Fun. He's figured out what I do now.
Yes, I do. Welcome into our next leg on our race around the world here at the Pit Stop Pals, part of the Reality Realm Network. My name is Kevin Oliver.
And my name is Bruce Heller.
Wow, you got it right this time.
I remembered my name for once.
And today we are continuing with our February Madness. But before I get started with that, I did not talk to Bruce about this, but um, I just want to say that our community has been kind of uh, under a cloud for the last few days, um, because a 15-year-old uh, lady basketball player from a local school, Pittsfield, Illinois, was killed in a car accident on Tuesday, and so here at Pit Stop Pals, we just want to send our prayers and condolences that way, and uh, dedicate this episode to Reese Ramsey. One of the best basketball players I've seen in a long time. She had a D1 offer before she even hit the basketball court as a freshman. Absolutely incredible. And with that being said, um, yeah, us at the whoa, he's drinking something other than Mountain Dew. That's crazy.
This sits on
Anyway,
my desk here in the Death Star. It doesn't come home, so I kind of forget about it, but this is
okay.
my water bottle that flavors the water for me.
Oh, okay. The circle, yeah.
Yes,
But
but it's not a circle, it's a cylinder.
the fake, yeah. The cylinder. My bad.
The
But
brand
anyway,
is
yeah.
called
This
Circle, but it's deceptive.
this episode we're gonna dedicate that way, but also I wanted to make an update. Um i actually I don't know if you saw, I DM'd from our Instagram account Ashley Martin the
Yeah.
other day to let her know that we were thinking about the Martin family with the health problems that their son's been having. And this morning there was a complication. He'd come home, but there was a complication. They had to send him back to the hospital. So continued prayers for the Martin family. Um, Big fans over here at Pit Stop Pals of Todd and Ashley from season 35. And with that being said, Bruce, here we are for another
Yes.
bracket.
Kevin filling out a bracket for fictional characters this time.
Yes. And I hope these are fictional characters that I like, question mark.
They're at least fictional characters that you know who they are. Most of them I assume you like.
Okay. Noted.
So, we're starting with the women this time
We're
for the first
starting with
one.
the women.
This is
Okay.
Big Bang Theory and Victorious. Penny versus Jade.
Penny versus Jade. That's an interesting matchup there.
You, yeah.
What?
Nothing. One of the names in this tournament I sort of gave away, but I don't think you know that's what I was doing when I was texting with you earlier this week. So, I'll explain that when I get there.
Okay, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Good.
Um,
See,
is
my
this the same?
questions are random enough that I can hint at things and it not come up on the radar.
Hey, is this bracket the same size as the other ones have been?
Yes, it's 32.
Okay, I'm creating my bracket real quick here,
It's
so I
actually
can.
64.
What? No, it's not.
No,
I,
it's
my
not.
my piece of paper is not big enough.
Sucks to suck, I guess.
Screw you.
No, thank you.
Uh, my
Sounds
piece.
painful.
You're terrible. Okay, Penny versus Jade. That's interesting.
Very different personalities.
Oh, absolutely. Um, I'm I'm struggling where to go there. if you ask me which one I'm more familiar with, it's it's Jade all day long.
Yeah.
But Jade is not my favorite Victorious character.
Yeah. Same.
So uh, this one's kind of tough. I'm gonna say I'm gonna give this one to Penny.
Okay.
I'm giving this one to Penny. Great, a really fun character. The only character on Big Bang Theory where we don't know her last name,
I
which is
never. Well, it's Hofstetter by the end of it.
yes, but like her original last name.
Oh, you didn't specify that.
When the show starts, we do not know her last name.
There
We
you
know
go.
Sheldon Cooper. We know Leonard Hofstetter. We know Howard Wolowitz or whatever the hell his name is, and Raj Kutherpally. But we don't know Penny. It's just Penny. If you look at IMDb, it's just Penny.
Yeah.
Um, but she, I like, um, I like Penny's character. She's also rather attractive, so I'll give her that.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're going Penny.
Next up, we have Boy Meets World's Topanga against Phineas and Ferb's Grandma Betty Joe.
That is quite the matchup. Oh my gosh! You know how much I want to go against the grain just for the meme, but I'm not going to because we're talking about my second favorite sitcom of all time.
Yeah.
Third, maybe third. I don't know. I'd say maybe third. It's favorite sitcom of all time. Uh, Grew up watching her on my screen, Topanga Lawrence by a runaway. But I want to give all my love to Betty Joe, Grandma Betty Joe. Great
But imagine
random
if she
full
was running
character.
the race with Grandpa Clyde.
What's that?
But
Oh, I'm
imagine,
sorry, I haven't been doing that. Penny's obviously gonna run the race with Leonard.
yeah.
Um,
Well, they've been obvious
Jade
so far.
Jade is gonna run with Beck. Topanga's gonna run with Corey. Grandma Betty Joe is gonna run the race with Grandpa Clyde.
But Grandpa Clyde is hilarious. I need him on my screen too.
In Grandma Betty Joe, if they ever have a roller skating competition or part
Oh
of the
yeah,
Amazing Race, she's got it in the back.
I was about to say that. So moving on, you mentioned your favorite sitcoms, and this one's also not going to be close, but your reaction to the names will be funny. From your
Okay.
favorite sitcom, Full House, we have Stephanie Tanner going
Okay.
up against, from the movie Wall-E, Eva.
It's not Eva, it's Eve.
Wall-E calls her Eva.
Look at her name. It's Eve.
I don't
EVE.
care. Eva.
Well, this is like a really bad matchup.
I knew it wasn't going to be close. I just wanted to see your reaction to me saying Eva. And your reaction to me just saying Wall-E was funny.
Well, yeah, I kind of like when you said Wally, I had to know where this was going, but I didn't expect Eve to be on this bracket at all.
Even Wall-E would kill it running the race together.
Oh, it would be wonderful. It'd be wonderful.
Even though he loves
They'd
her,
never,
you're
they'd
right,
never
her
run out of
name is
steam.
Eve, but he loves her and he doesn't know her, can't pronounce her name, which is kind of cute.
The endurance part of this would be great for them.
True.
But obviously Stephanie Tanner wins.
But
She's gonna.
any sort of water challenge would hurt the robot team.
That's true, and it would hurt everybody around them.
You know what? Get the robots in the water. The other teams get electrocuted. The robots win the race by default. Maybe the water works to their
Because they're the only ones that aren't dead.
That just became a different show completely.
Very much so, and it just became a canceled show.
What a way to go out.
What mass murder.
Blaze of glory.
What a way to go out. Literally. But Anyway, Stephanie Tanner is incredible. Love her both in Full and Fuller House. I'm having a hard time here deciding who she's going to run with. If this was Fuller House Stephanie Tanner, Jimmy Gibbler is the obvious choice. But I want to see little Stephanie Tanner run the race with little Harry Takayama.
Okay. I can't believe you hate Eve/Eva.
If that's what you want to say, I'll let you say
I
it.
forgot her name was actually Eve because I just had Wally's voice saying Eva in my head the whole movie. So I
Uh-huh.
literally wrote Eva down on my paper. But there is a whole scene where Wally's like Eva, and she corrects him and says Eve, and he keeps saying Eva. So
And you keep saying
oh,
Eva.
what?
And so do you. You keep saying it too. So
It's
you and
Wally's
Wally,
fault. He's adorable, but he's not very smart.
you and Wally are two of a kind. Well, I don't know about the adorable part, but
Oh, I'm adorable for sure.
oh yeah, I don't know. Ugh.
Moving on. We have Sweet Life on Decks, Bailey
Ah,
against Monsters Incorporated's Roz.
again, not even close. Monsters Inc. It's a good movie,
Yeah,
but it's really not up there that far for me when it comes to Pixar.
I loved that movie as a kid. Like it was my favorite for a while.
As a kid, I never actually watched it.
But the plot twist that Roz was like working with the feds the whole time is fantastic.
Sure, yeah. But I gotta say, my girl Debbie Ryan, incredible. Bailey, great character. Debbie Ryan later becomes Jessie, great character. But Bailey, this mixture of nerdiness with the Southern charm.
Yeah.
I just think back to that episode where they're not on the boat and they go to Bailey's hometown and there's the
Yeah.
tornado. That's a great sequence of events, even though there was a tornado.
Yeah. Also, there's an episode of Jesse that Mr. Mosby is on because it takes place at a Tipton hotel. And
I
after
love
Jesse leaves, Mr. Mosby calls Cody and says she looks just like Bailey, which
I
is
love that.
fantastic.
I don't remember that, but I love that. It's
And so,
Mr. Mosby, incredible character. I have to say
unfortunately, not in this bracket, but that would have been smart of me.
that's okay. But all I can think about when I think of Mr. Mosby is when him and London Tipton, when he's teaching London how to drive,
The
the
Prindle.
whole Prindle thing.
Ham or Foom.
Yeah.
Next up,
Or
we
actually.
have Amy Santiago, Brooklyn Nine-Nine versus Betty Cooper, Riverdale.
Whoa. Now now you've done it because I don't know what I'm going to do here.
You have to eliminate one of them in the first round.
Yeah, you hate me.
And,
But
and
the fun thing is somehow you have this matchup of my second favorite female from Brooklyn Nine-Nine versus my second favorite female from Riverdale.
yes,
Not my first of either.
but either one of these, if not matched up against each other first, could have gone deep into the tournament, and one of them is a one and done.
Absolutely, and I hate that.
This episode is fantastic entertainment already.
Yeah. What am I supposed to hear? On one hand, Amy Santiago, incredible character. I mean, the whole arc of Jake and Amy is beautiful and hilarious.
Double hair talk.
Funny. What?
The double hair talk.
The double hair talk. We got. I'm just thinking back to when Jake got Amy the little binder thing with that has all three of their names on it or whatever, but then she had to ask if they were in alphabetical order because or if they were or no, she said, I assume that these are movable because so that I can place them in alphabetical order, and just random things like that. I follow Brooklyn Nine-Nine on TikTok all the time. There's always great Amy clips. It's incredible.
So it's
Now I have to look over here at Betty Cooper, right? I mean, everybody's the perfect girl next door, or so we think. She does have a dark side to her, but I mean, there's a good part of though Jughead Jones is the narrator of Riverdale. There's a good part of especially season one that we see through the eyes of Betty Cooper, especially and obviously season two
Black
with
Hood.
the whole Black Hood being obsessed with Betty Cooper and ending up being her dad. Um, the two best seasons of that show are a lot of through her lens as well, and wow, I have to make this decision here, and I don't know what I'm gonna do still.
This is
Oh
the
man!
new version of Amber versus Bethany Hamilton.
Except this might be worse somehow. You know, it's kind of giving me vibes back to the 46 Survivor 46 draft we did when I'm sitting here with my first three draft picks of Kinsey, Jim, and Liz, and trying to decide in the moment which one of them I'm going to call my winner pick.
Yeah.
I'd been dwelling over this for days, and I got on the podcast, did the whole draft, and still hadn't decided who I was going to call the winner. Except I didn't have time to prepare and do the same thing here, so this is even worse. I'm going with my gut, which tells me Betty Cooper's the winner.
Wow. I thought Amy would do that just because you like 9-9 better as a show. But
Yeah, that was
okay.
that was a hard matchup.
Are you ready to go in a completely different direction here?
Are you gonna make my mind melt?
I might. From Victorious again, we have Trina Vega
I hate that. Okay,
going up against Finding Nemo's Dory.
that is a complete. You're not blowing my mind here, and actually, this is a landslide.
It should be. One of them's extremely irritating and the other's not.
Absolutely, Dory wins, no
Yeah.
doubt in
It's
my
just a whole
mind.
different direction than like two characters that you like as much as you like the two from the last matchup.
Yeah, Trina Vega. I don't like Trina. She's annoying. And I know that's how they wrote her character, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean I have to like her and that I
She's a
don't have to move her on here. Dory is lovable, and I mean Dory's Dory, and I don't quote anything from Trina, and I always quote short-term memory loss.
nice.
So Dory wins.
Okay, next up, Hannah Montana's Miley Stewart, technically
Okay,
a fictional character, but shares a first name with a real person,
correct. Miley Stewart is fictional. That would be accurate.
versus Sharpay from the High School Musical movies.
Wow, Sharpay Evans. Since you didn't say her last name, I will. Okay, we're in the Disney verse here. Okay. Um First of all, Hannah Montana, a incredible show. Absolutely like that was like prime real estate back in the childhood, you know, with Disney TV.
I still listen to some of the songs from that show when Spotify shuffles them to me.
Oh yes. Do you I know that you so you know I know that you know some of the couples that I watch on TikTok because you watch them on Instagram Reels, like Shelby and Dylan Reese. But
Yeah,
have you ever? Do you know who Alex and Courtney Quist are?
probably not.
They're another couple that does social media videos. Anyway, one day Courtney, the wife, she sits down and she says, hey, I wrote you a poem and I want to read it to you now. And she just read the lyrics to Best of Both Worlds to see if he would recognize it. It was incredible. It was great. And you just Snapchatted a picture of me to somebody.
Charles.
Ah, yes, Charles. Okay. And you went Sharpay here, which I don't love.
I couldn't
Um,
just throw all your favorite characters in there. If I threw like your absolute favorites in there, they would steamroll. So I had to mix it up a little bit.
that's fair. Um, but I love High School Musical, so that's hard because
You're welcome.
I'm going Miley. I'm going Miley Stewart. I
I
really am.
figured.
Um, but All the Love in the World to Ashley Tisdale, All the Love in the World to High School Musical. Sharpay Evans just makes me want to rip my hair out sometimes. So
Uh-huh. And there was a Sharpay movie that I haven't seen.
yes, I haven't seen it either. Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure or something like that.
Next up, the final women's first round matchup. Our second Sweet Life on Deck named London Tipton versus Rosa Diaz, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
You said you weren't going to put my favorites here.
I said I wasn't going to put all of your favorites.
Rosa Diaz is the far and away winner. I love that I mentioned London. I love that I mentioned London Tipton, and then you have London Tipton.
I know, it's fantastic.
Um, I love London Tipton. She's a great character. I mean, when I tell you that I watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine clips on TikTok all the time, also random times Sweet Life on Deck things come up. The other day I watched a clip where Zach is or London's pretending to be Zach's girlfriend and was gonna
Yeah,
like fight Maya and stuff. And she is she's just hilarious. I think back to things like when she had to stay with Maddie on those beds that fold up into the wall,
yeah,
and I think back to things like the Prindle, or I mean, there's
yeah,
just so many iconic London Tipton moments. But you put her in, not you, the AI intern evidently hates London Tipton.
yeah,
Because he put her against my favorite Brooklyn Nine-Nine character, Rosa Diaz,
yeah.
and there was no way that London was gonna hold a torch to Rosa here.
And a women's for also maybe a hot take. I'm not sure. I think I like On Deck better than the original Sweet Life show.
Interesting. See,
I'm not sure if that's a hot take or unpopular opinion or not. I haven't gauged that, but I feel
I
like it
wouldn't
probably
I
is.
wouldn't call it a popular opinion. Um, it's not the first time I've heard sentiments that echo in that same way, and I kind of would agree.
Yeah,
Um, I
Woody.
think
I mean, I wish On Deck had Arwen as a regular character, but
but he's on there. I mean,
he's on
he's
an
at
episode
graduation.
Esteban. The
Esteban Julio
original
Ricardo
characters,
Mondo. Yeah,
the original characters all get an episode, but I miss seeing some of them regularly.
I would agree with that. But if we're looking at a strong cast of characters, I would argue that Sweet Life has the upper hand.
Yeah,
Or Sweet Life on Deck, I should say,
yeah,
has the
because you
upper hand.
add Woody,
You
who's
add Woody, you get
hysterical. You add Bailey.
and Marcus.
Yeah, who was only on for a short time, but because the actor left to go do Pair of Kings. But
Yes.
you have Miss Tutwiler, who's
Mrs.
hilarious.
Tutwiler, yeah. I mean, it's it's a really fun way to continue
You
our.
convinced me. I'm rewatching Sweet Life on Deck now.
You're welcome.
Thank you. By the way, the women's first round featured live action human women, animated women, a monster, a robot, and a fish. And all but one of the people that moved on came from the live action human women category
And then we had a fish.
because of who the fish was up against. But we move forward to the men's first round, and I'm going bottom to top here. Shrek
Okay.
from the Shrek movies versus
Okay.
Veggie Tales as Larry the Cucumber.
Wow. That is quite the way to start the men's side.
It's not easy being green. And that's a Kermit the Frog quote, but both of these guys are green too, so it works.
So this makes me think Masked Singer next week is doing a Shrek night, just so you
Oh,
know.
that's fantastic.
It's going to be great. Anyway, also Shrek 5 is in the works. That's exciting.
Yes.
Also, I don't think this is a hot take. Shrek 2 is the best Shrek movie, and it's not even close.
Yeah, that's the one with Fairy Godmother and Prince Charming.
Yeah, and on the VHS that I have, it has like America's Got Talent Shrek people as a bonus extra.
Right. So, fun story with Shrek is like the first towards the end of my first year at Central, a bunch of us were hanging out at an apartment watching Shrek, and I realized there's a lot of non-kids jokes in that movie that went over my head.
Oh, I'm sure.
But also random scene. I don't remember if it's in number one or number two, but where they're trying to get Pinocchio's nose to grow, and they say, "Pinocchio, tell us lies, something crazy, like you're wearing women's underwear," and then he says it, and his nose doesn't grow. Like, what the heck is that scene for? I just like it's funny, but like, why did that need to be in there?
Because why not?
It's so funny. So yeah,
Um,
Shrek versus Larry.
Also, I have Shrek socks I got for Christmas, 6 pair.
Nice.
Pretty rad. But Larry the Cucumber grew up on the guy.
He's hilarious.
Veggie Tales is great. My favorite moment of any Veggie Tale was a silly songs with Larry, where he proclaims that or where not he, but the gourd proclaims that he doesn't have a belly button. It's still silly songs with Larry, but it's not Larry himself.
I had a gourd from the Jericho episode, like a stuffy. But like when you hit it, it would go, "There's slushy in my ear," because like they poured slushy on him in the movie.
Yeah.
It was the orange gourd, Jimmy, I think.
But I'm giving it to Shrek here.
Yeah.
He's just a little more complete of a
Yep.
player. I mean, I just realized that we did the other half and barely said who was going to run with who. So let me run this back real quick.
Okay.
Stephanie Tanner, we talked about. Eve, we talked about. Okay, Bailey. Obviously, she's running this race with Cody.
Yeah.
Roz, I don't even know who Roz is going to run with. Let's go Wazowski, because why not? Amy Santiago, she's got to run with her partner in everything, Jake Peralta. Betty Cooper. Evidently, you got a thing for Cole Sprouse because she's running with Jughead Jones.
Her and Veronica would also be an understandable team.
It would be. Trina Vega. She's going to run with Tori. And Tori's going to hate every minute of it. Dory's going to swim with Nemo.
Until they have a land challenge, and then they're just going to flop around on the ground and suffocate.
Oh, maybe she should run the race with, what's his name?
The Pelican.
So no, I was going to say, I can't think of his name.
Okay, but if she does it with the Pelican that carries them, then they can do land challenges and they can be out of the water without Dory dying.
That's true. Well, Dory would still die, but
no. Well, remember the Pelican carried them in his mouth in the water and delivered them to the dentist office.
I was thinking more about that turtle that gets high.
Oh, Crush.
Crush. Yeah.
Yes. He does act high. You're right.
Yeah. Miley Stewart is gonna run with Lily Truscott, I guess. Yeah. Sharpay is gonna run with Ryan. London Tipton is gonna run with Maddie Fitzpatrick or Fitzgerald, whichever one it is. Fitz something.
Fitzpatrick.
And Rosa is gonna run this race with herself. No, she's gonna run with. I guess she's gonna run this race with Charles Boyle.
I love Charles. He's so wholesome.
Shrek's going to run this race with Fiona.
Well, yeah.
Well, he could run with Donkey.
He would hate every minute of that.
He would.
Get Donkey and Trina to run together. Great television.
And Larry the Cucumber obviously is running with Bob the Tomato.
Well, yeah. Well, hopping, I guess. They don't have legs. They can't
That's
run.
true. But at least they can move, and they're not going to die if out of water.
Fair enough. Next up, Boy Meets World is bringing Sean Hunter to this matchup to go up against our only Lab Rats representation, Donald Davenport.
Why was Donald Davenport your pull from?
I don't know. It just popped into my head. I was thinking of like fun, bizarre personalities that I could put into this thing.
If you were going to pull anybody from Lab Rats, it should have been Bree.
Yeah. Well, this was like one of the last men I came up with, and I already had my list of women.
That's valid. I mean, it's valid. I was wanting to make a comment. I wanted to bring Bree into
for a
this.
man, Adam would have been better too because he's hilarious, but Donald's hilarious in his own way.
I love Davenport. He's great. But poor guy got matched up against Sean Hunter.
Yeah.
And I love Sean Hunter. There's so much good content from him in a Boy Meets World and a Girl Meets World setting. If we want to be real here, I mean, some of my favorite moments from Boy Meets World, even though they are tragedies for Sean, those real moments are what I appreciate the most about that show. For instance, we have Sean's reaction when Jonathan Turner wrecks his motorcycle.
Yeah.
We have Sean losing his dad.
Yeah.
We have Sean trying to join a cult, and that's a beautiful scene where Alan goes up to the guy who leads the cult, and he says that I decided a long time ago that Sean Hunter was the best friend my boy could ever have, and I will kill for him.
Okay.
Beautiful stuff. I mean, we see Sean cross over into this Girl Meets World and have a beautiful relationship with Katie and her daughter Maya, and this reuniting of basically brothers with Corey Matthews. Well-written character. He's the bad boy, turns into having a life change. I love it. Sean Hunter's my winner, and it's not even close. I'm sorry, Donald Davenport.
Okay, next up, and I'm guessing you're not going to have such a beautiful monologue about either of these.
Oh, by the way, Sean Hunter is going to run the race.
Also with Corey. Let's clone him.
We're not running him with Corey because that's not how that works. I'm gonna say he's gonna run this race with his new wife, Katie Hart.
There you go.
And Donald Davenport is going to run this race with his wife, Tasha. I think that's her name.
That Tasha would be the better choice, but the funnier choice would be having it running with his brother, Douglas.
That's fair.
Next up, and again, I'm not expecting a beautiful monologue.
Sorry, did I go on too long about Sean Hunter?
No, that was great. I don't think you're gonna have that strong of a feeling about either of these. We have iCarly's Spencer Shay against Ice Age's Scrat.
Oh man, I got really excited for a second, and then you said the wrong name.
Scrat's hilarious.
But he's not. But I do love Scrat, no doubt. But he's not Sid.
No, but Scrat caused the continental drift by chasing an acorn. That's hilarious.
This is another instance where I want to go for the meme here. But you matched him up against Spencer Shay. And so I got to sit here and I got to really think about this because Spencer Shay has got a lot going for him.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this man invented spaghetti tacos.
I want to try making those in real life sometime.
This man put his head under a table with a baby's bonnet on it, put a cloche over it, and made himself look like an idiot for the world to see.
Yes.
This man sets everything on fire. What do you want from me? I,
Exactly. Even
Spencer.
set the fire department on fire.
It's got to be Spencer.
Yeah.
Love you, Scrat.
Next up, are you ready?
I don't know.
From Kung Fu Panda, we have Po
Okay.
going up against from the Despicable Me universe, Stuart the Minion.
Why'd you have to go with Stuart the Minion?
Well, there's a bunch. I can't just say minions. There's millions of them. I had to choose a minion.
Yeah, and you couldn't have chose the one that shares a name with me?
No, Stuart was the first name I thought of.
Ouch! That hurts. Stuart's not even the most popular minion. Kevin's more popular. Bob's more popular.
Yeah, so I'm giving love to Stuart. He needs
But
it.
you said that was the first name that came to your mind, and that makes me sad. Or Poe. Man, I don't like this matchup, to be honest. I'm gonna give love here to Stuart the Minion and move him on over Poe.
Nice.
I'm not a huge Kung Fu Panda person in the first place. I do love me some Jack Black, but
Always.
I'm not a huge Kung Fu Panda person. Um, I do appreciate a good minion. I was a minion one year for Halloween when I was in high school.
Nice.
I
And
still have the costume in my closet.
here's
Um,
the thing. The first Minions movie is about Stuart, Kevin, and Bob. If Stuart's running, he has to pick one of his two best friends to run with and reject the other one. That's going to be hard for
obviously
him.
he's picking. Obviously he's picking Kevin.
Is Bob the short one that acts like a little kid?
I think so.
Yeah, Kevin would be the better choice, but Bob's adorable.
I don't have any idea who Poe's gonna run with though.
His dad.
That's fair. That's fair.
Also, shout out to either number two or number three, whichever Kung Fu Panda movie it is, where Po finds out he's adopted and he's all shocked because the dad that he knows that runs the noodle shop is a bird, and you're surprised that you're like that's not your birth dad. I don't like birds don't birth pandas.
Um,
Shout out to
by the
that.
way,
That's always
by
been
the
funny
way,
to
I
me.
need to go back to that last matchup. Scrat is gonna run this race with Sid the Sloth,
Yeah.
and Spencer is gonna run this race with Tebow.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Sacco.
That's a good one.
I do love
But
the
I would
running
love.
joke in iCarly that Spencer's friend Sacco makes socks and everyone he knows or is related to, their name is their job.
Yeah.
Like Hunter is one of them.
Uh-huh. But I just want to see the unhingedness of
Yeah.
Tebow and Spencer running this race.
I'm sad that we never met Sacco. I just realized that.
Yeah, we didn't.
Okay, moving forward, we have Jack Sparrow going up against Dez from Austin and Alley.
I think you're going to be disappointed in me here.
Probably not. I like both of these.
I don't know that I've ever sat down and watched a full movie of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. That being said, I obviously know who Jack Sparrow is. I've seen lines, I've seen things like that.
Yeah.
But I want Dez to run this race. He is so goofy.
I love Dez.
And I guess he's going to run this race with Trish.
Him and Austin running together would be great though, because there's no one to like rein their hijinks back in.
Right. I'm just assuming Austin would run with Allie.
Fair enough. Next up, we have more Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We have Scully going up against Mater from the Cars movies.
Wow. You know what? This kind of fits because like they kind of give off similar vibes.
I was gonna say Mater in 20 years is Scully if he's
Yeah,
in the city and not in the country.
like obviously Mater is more like hick redneck, but like
But if you put Mater in the city instead of the country, he's basically Scully,
yeah, I would agree with that. I
but
think that's
slightly more competent.
no, that's not true.
Then Scully,
Yeah, if you've watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you'll know that Scully and Hitchcock can actually do their jobs, but they don't want to get promoted or have any expectation from them.
fair enough. And there was the episode of Young Hitchcock and Scully.
Yes, but also there's one time where they were in the bathroom and and they heard the guy on the phone admitting that he was committing fraud, and they just open up the stalls and like arrest him, and they're like, we're gonna make sure I'm gonna write that in my report that you did well, and they were all like, please no, when we put in our years of good detective work, we just want to sit at a desk and collect our pension one day,
Don't don't
basically.
don't forget them like going in great detail about the microwave lasagna too.
Oh yeah, and then they had to sprint to the store for the garlic bread. They only had 20 minutes because that's how long the lasagna took, and if they weren't back in time, then the lasagna gets cold before they have the garlic bread, and it's a whole thing. Also, the fact that they don't want to go too far away from their computers because they're afraid they'll update and lose Minesweeper.
Also, Hitchcock winning the last Halloween heist episode is very unsatisfying but very
Wild,
funny. So, who are you
wild.
picking here?
I'm going Scully.
Poor Mater.
I love Mater. Great character. I have Cars, the video game, for my PlayStation 2. So
Nice.
much fun. So much fun. I love Mater. Great character. Larry the Cable Guy, absolutely underrated comedian. So funny. Incredible. Um, but I'm
Scully,
giving it to Scully.
Scully running with Hitchcock and Mater running with Lightning, I assume.
No, Lightning's got to run with Sally.
Sally
Mate,
wasn't on the women's side. He's not in this.
well,
She's
but
not in this.
neither was Allie. But I still said Austin's running with Allie.
Fair
So
enough.
I'm just breaking this down. So Mater is going to run with what the heck?
Mac.
Fillmore.
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 That's great. What about, yeah, Scully with Hitchcock. Are you ready for
Scully
your
picture.
next matchup?
Let's do it.
This is a Sesame Street versus Phineas and Ferb matchup. And
Okay.
one of these two is the ones that I sort of leaked to you over text without actually
When
leaking.
you randomly sent me a picture of Ernie with a
No,
rubber
I didn't
ducky,
do that.
who did that?
I don't know, but the matchup
My friend. That's so funny that we have two Sesame.
the matchup is Cookie Monster from Sesame Street versus the giant floating baby head from Phineas and Ferb.
The baby head. You were asking me if it was a man or a
I
woman.
wasn't sure which list to put it on.
Oh my gosh. Or the Cookie Monster.
And you had to tell
It's
me who each is competing with.
it's so strange that I thought you were talking about Ernie, and the fact that I've had two conversations about Sesame Street in the same week is kind of weird.
Oh,
Oh, I know what it was. One of my elders uh, said something about a rubber ducky, and so I started over text singing, "Rubber ducky, you're the one. You make bath time so much fun.
huh.
Rubber ducky, you're my very best friend. It's true.
Nice.
Rubber ducky, joy of joys. When I squeeze you, you make noise. Rubber ducky."
That's fantastic. I love that you can just pull that off the top of your head.
Yes, sir. And so my one of my elders sent me a picture of Ernie holding a rubber ducky.
Nice. So,
Yes.
our matchup at hand does not involve Ernie.
Oh my gosh. The Cookie Monster versus the giant baby head.
Giant floating baby head.
And I think I'm going with giant floating baby head.
Yes! Okay, but who is each of them competing with?
Okay, so Cookie Monster is going to run this race with Oscar the Grouch. And the giant floating baby head is going to run this race with Irving.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about Irving. Also, shout out to the episode where Phineas and Ferb build a haunted house that's just fantastically well done. And at the end of the episode, Phineas asks Ferb what the scariest part was, and Ferb goes, definitely the giant floating baby head. Of like this whole big scary haunted house, and that was the scariest part for both of them.
Did you watch that episode this week?
No, I
So
just
Bruce is on a rewatch of Phineas and Ferb, and he also keeps sending me all these great Buford moments, which is incredible.
well, and it's
Which,
not just Buford. It's like some random character judging a meatloaf competition the other day, as meatloaf was being described to him, asked if it was a beverage.
yeah,
And I'm like, what? How do you get that from meat and onions and bread? There's just so many great random quotes.
obviously those are key ingredients to a beverage. Duh.
So speaking of Buford, in our final first round men's matchup, he is going up against How I Met Your Mother's the captain.
Wow. You know what? There's a character I wish you would have put in over Buford.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point.
I
I
almost
love
got, I was trying to see if I could work Sherman in here. Then I realized I already had three Phineas and Ferb characters and I didn't need a fourth one.
that's fair. I love How I Met Your Mother. The captain's a good character,
Ahoy.
but Phineas and Ferb, Buford, I mean, you're really selling me on the quality of character Buford is every time you send me a video of it.
I've
Like,
never realized it until recently how just completely funny and random he is.
like he goes, I make life-size molds of all my friends.
I never go anywhere without a velvet rope.
And then later he asks Baljeet, why do you have I don't even remember what it was.
Weather balloon. I
A
saw
weather
that clip
balloon.
the
And
other
he
day.
goes, you have life-size molds of all your friends.
I saw
Baljeet's
that.
weather balloon it is.
I haven't even watched that episode recently. I think you sent me something with that clip in it. I saw the clip of that scene recently.
You literally sent it to me the other day.
I think it was in the thing I sent you, but I've seen it since then too.
Oh, I didn't send it to you.
Oh, I think it just came up on a reel, I guess.
Must have. Oh my gosh, he is incredible. Or I laughed too hard at the end where Baljeet and Buford are dressed up as Phineas and Ferb, and he just goes, "I'm from England and don't talk much."
The first, like when the show was coming out, I never realized how funny and random of a character he is. But he's just bizarre, and it's so good.
It's so good. Buford wins.
Nice, and he's running with Baljeet because that's
He
the
is.
outfit.
Who is the person I would prefer that you had on here?
Who's the captain running with?
Um.
Zoe, I guess. I don't associate him with anyone strongly.
Yeah, let's do that.
Or
Because
what's her name? Boats, boats, boats that he's like together with at the end of the show.
or we'll give him somebody random like
Martha.
he can run with Ranjit.
Hello.
You should have put Ranjit on here. I think he might have actually beat Buford. That would have
Okay.
been a really hard matchup.
Women's second round.
But seriously, Buford versus the captain, not a hard matchup.
I
Buford
don't think
versus Buford versus Ranjit, that would have been a really good matchup.
Buford versus Baljeet would have been fun if I really wanted to throw
That would have been terrible.
Moving on to the women's second round. Rosa
Yes.
Diaz and Miley Stewart.
It's got to be Rosa.
Rosa, Rosa, Rosa.
And honestly, that's the only no. It's I'd say it's one of the only easy matchups left in this whole bracket. Where'd you go?
I was
Oh,
plugging my computer and I think bent down.
oh, okay. The next one is the other easiest matchup, I'd say. I like Miley Stewart. She's a great character, but Rosa Diaz has just got this swagger about her that I absolutely love. She doesn't
Yeah.
give a shit about what anybody thinks. And
So
wow, I love her.
next up, we have the winner of the knockdown drag out hardest for you matchup yet versus the only non-live action human one woman
Woman,
made it out of the first
woman,
round. We have Dory. So Betty versus Dory.
and it's not even close.
Yeah, sorry, Dory,
Betty Cooper wins. And I like Dory. Dory's a great character, but
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 not for the race.
we're talking about the girl next door, man.
Yeah, and also I like Dory's a good character, but if she tried to run the race, she would have to leave water and would just kind of end up flopping around on the pavement.
That's true.
So we have Bailey Pickett, who beat Roz in the first round, versus Stephanie Tanner, who beat Eve/Eva from Wally in the first round.
So both of these wins were for them were very easy to get them here. This one's not as easy, but I there's a clear winner here. It's Stephanie Tanner.
Okay.
Um, Somehow the only representative you gave me from my favorite sitcom of all time.
Yes.
Um, Even though you gave me like four Full House people in the last one,
Yeah, I didn't want to do the same thing again.
that's fair.
I'm trying to
Um,
make it a little bit bizarre also, and I feel like I've achieved that.
you definitely have. Bailey Pickett, she's so much fun. Like I
Yeah.
mean, I spoke on her before. She, Genius Girl meets the Southern Charm, makes for a perfect storm. But Stephanie Tanner, if I didn't let her move on, how rude would I be?
I was about to try to work how rude in there. That's great. Yeah, so our final women's second round matchup is Penny versus Topanga.
Listen, man. If DJ Tanner was my first celebrity crush, Topanga Lawrence wasn't that far behind.
Yeah.
I got to go Topanga here. Penny is a awesome character, but she does not hold the weight that Topanga does, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Moving to the men's second round, we have Sean Hunter versus Shrek.
Yeah, Sean Hunter versus Shrek. Listen, I think I've said enough. Sean Hunter's my winner here. I mean, I did like a whole
Yeah, you did a whole
like
like soliloquy about it earlier.
yeah, like it was like 2 minutes long. It was crazy. I mean,
Beautiful.
Shrek's great and all, but Shrek does not have the sentimental value to me that Sean Hunter does.
Yes, agreed. So moving forward for the right to play against Sean in the third round, Spencer Shay versus Stewart.
And it's Spencer.
I figured.
I mean, I knew from the jump that whoever was playing Spencer in that matchup, Poe versus Stewart the Minion, whoever won that was going to lose to Spencer.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
Spencer's a great character. I've already kind of spoken on how off the wall he is, how much fun he is. Even when he came back in iCarly, the reboot on Paramount Plus, awesome,
Oh
so
yeah.
much fun. Somehow he got rich. Um, and Stuart the Minion, you know, your short legs only get you so far, buddy.
Aw, poor
Yeah,
Minion. Speaking from coming from an expert on shortness, though, so it makes sense.
yeah, absolutely. I'm more qualified to talk about this than most people.
Speaking of fun and zany and off the wall, we have Dez in his second round matchup against Scully. Oh my gosh, this combination of names.
Yeah, this is wild. It's like
Can we see them team together?
that'd be scary. So I struggle here. Dez is wacky, zany, so off the wall all the time. Scully, okay, I just want to say this. Scully and Hitchcock were only supposed to be on 4 episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and their characters somehow parlayed this into 160 some episodes.
Justice for Detective Daniels.
We don't care about him.
Her.
He, her, whatever. Well, I thought it was 3 guys.
No, Daniels was a woman.
Well, she didn't do enough to. She didn't do enough to get past like Scully and Hitchcock did.
Yeah.
So that's on her.
Also, last
Scully,
time you said you would have Dez running with Trish. I just remembered by the end of the show, Dez had a girlfriend for the last season and a
he's
half.
still running. They didn't last. He's running with Trish.
No, they were together by the end of it.
Yeah, they didn't last.
Okay, fair enough.
It's 2025. I'm predicting. I'm telling you what happened. I am creating my own lore.
Fair enough.
Scully wins.
Scully wins. And next up, I can't believe this made it to the second round. Giant floating baby head is going up against Buford. I can't believe you picked that. That's so funny. I'm so
I,
happy about that.
I want to keep it going for the meme, but how can you argue against Buford Van Stom here, man?
Him and his goldfish Biff.
Absolutely, and I'm pretty sure he was a ballerina once.
He wants
Um,
to float in a bubble like little woodland pixies.
absolutely. I
And
mean,
then immediately realizes he said that out loud. And then another episode, Baljeet references the Woodland Pixies comment, and Buford just goes, "You're never gonna let that go, are you?"
as he shouldn't. I mean,
No, he shouldn't.
and there was even a time where Buford was indebted to Baljeet. That was a
Yes,
wild episode.
he was his humble servant.
And then he saved his life.
I think talking with you about Buford these past couple weeks might have made him my favorite character. I'm not sure.
That's great.
So
Well,
funny and so random.
he made it to the Elite Eight here.
That's
So,
wild. I did not expect that. To be fair, he's had to go up against the captain and an inanimate floating head. So
yeah.
he hasn't
I mean,
had a hard road.
arguably, he's had the easiest road so far.
Oh, definitely the easiest road. Well, Spencer had to face Scrat and Stewart. So,
I feel like Scrap would beat any of those other 3 that are in that top corner, though.
fair enough. Women's Elite Eight, Rosa versus Betty. And Betty has had the hardest road so far, other than Dory, because she's had to face Rosa and Amy.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah. You're not going to know what to do for the other women's matchup either, I don't think.
I'm going to cry. That's what I'm going to do. This women's side is terrible. Oh my gosh. Word. Okay. I gotta talk it through here. Rosa is my favorite Brooklyn Nine-Nine character.
Yes.
Have I rewatched Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Do what?
Have I rewatched Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Probably.
No. I've watched the whole thing once.
That's
Have I re-
crazy as much as you text me about it and as much as you texted me about it while I was watching it last winter.
Have I rewatched Riverdale?
Probably. Yes, I
Yeah.
actually know you have.
Betty Cooper wins.
Betty's had the hardest road to get to the Final Four. I just want to point that out.
It's
And the
very true.
other one, Stephanie Tanner going up against Topanga. The women's Elite Eight is like two really good matchups, and then the men's Elite Eight is just going to be bizarre names that I put in here that I can't believe made it as far as they did. Well, Sean, but the other three are bizarre.
Oh my gosh, what do I do here? Oh my.
Flip a
Wow.
coin.
No, I'm not. I'm not being indecisive like you.
So, funny
Oh,
story about coin flipping. There's an episode of Friends where Joey and Chandler are trying to figure out which baby to get from the pound or like wherever lost babies are taken, and they flip
from
a
the
coin.
pound? Did you just say the baby from the pound?
Well, it's like just they left Ross's baby on a bus, and they're in this like city government place where the baby is being held. I don't know what they call it.
It's
It's like a
not
baby pound.
a pound. It's not a dog.
But anyway, they flip a coin. Joey flips a coin, and they forgot to assign heads or tails to which baby to get. And I always thought that scene was funny, and I accidentally did that in real life with my mom one time. I flipped a coin. We were trying to decide. I'm like heads, and then I realized I didn't assign heads to anything.
You know what I just realized? You missed a wonderful opportunity. There's a show that we talk about a lot that did not get a single representation in this bracket.
Yeah,
Only Murders in the Building.
they had that. Yeah, that show's been pretty heavily represented in our real people brackets, though. I
Right, but
almost put what's her name on here. Bunny.
you should have given me Mrs. Gambolini and she would have won the whole thing.
I forgot about her.
Or somebody that I hold very highly as a random character
The doorman.
is no, he's dead now. Vince Fish.
Yeah,
You don't even know who that is.
that's the. Uh, he's one of the people in the West Tower. I can picture him. I don't know how to describe him. Is it the? It's the guy with the eye thing.
Yeah, he's the guy that has antibiotic resistant pink eye that hops from one eye to the other.
But also justice for the doorman. He's incredible. I don't care that he's dead. I
His
still
name's
love him.
Lester.
I
Say
still
his
love
name.
him, even though Kevin doesn't.
I love Lester.
I literally just said Lester, and you're like, no, he's dead. Yucky. Get him away.
I did not say yucky, get him away. I
Time
was
will
just
tell.
not getting ready to say that. I was getting ready to say Vince Fish. But you don't even know his name, so I don't want to
It's
hear it.
Lester.
Because I told you.
I knew it before you told me.
No, you didn't. You kept calling him the doorman.
Well, yes, but that doesn't mean I didn't know it and just wasn't saying it. You're not in my mind.
Pretty close.
Stephanie
Anyway,
Topanga, what are you doing?
I'm trying to stall. That's what I'm doing.
Babies from the pound.
What?
That's our babies from the pound is what I'm titling this episode.
Oh my gosh. So Stephanie Tanner versus Topanga Lawrence. Who do I want to see run the Amazing Race? Oh my lord.
Think about which partner you'd rather see. Maybe that'll help.
Stephanie Tanner wins.
There you go. You're welcome. I helped.
I want to see Stephanie Tanner and Harry Takayama run the race.
Moving to the men's Elite Eight. Sean versus Spencer.
And somehow this is the toughest race on the guys' side ever. And it's still not tough. I mean, Sean moves on here. Unfortunately, on the guys' side, in trying to be chaotic, you made the matchups way too easy.
I did not make the matchups. I just came up with a list of names and told
Yes, but you
to randomize.
didn't give enough like really thoughtful names that for me to.
You're forgetting that I put Mater and Scrat in here.
I know, and both of them lost easily.
Fair enough. Did I achieve my goal of being bizarre and a bit chaotic, though?
No, you did, and that's what I said. I said I relented to in your achievement for chaos. You lost competitiveness.
The women's side has enough competitiveness for both sides, honestly.
I guess.
Because you're gonna have another hard matchup for the women's final four, also. Just so
Yeah, I
you
have
know.
no idea what the hell I'm gonna do.
But before that, Buford and Scully are fighting.
Yeah, and Buford's gonna win.
Yes, love that. He's gonna
Buford
get killed next round, but
Buford and Baljeet running the Amazing Race. Sign me up.
yes. So, final four: Betty Cooper versus Stephanie Tanner. See, the women's side has enough competitive hard matchups to cover both sides. The men can afford to be chaotic.
See, when we started this, I didn't expect this to happen. But the winner of the women's side is Betty Cooper.
There we go. And for the men's final four matchup, Buford Van Stom in his life-size molds of all of his friends and his velvet rope going up against Sean Hunter in his angsty teen life.
I can't believe that this is a conversation we're having at the
I
current
love it
moment.
so much.
How many what what wrong decisions have we made in our lives to get to this moment?
I would argue it's the right decisions that have gotten us here.
Oh no. Oh. Oh no. Oh no.
Also,
How badly I want Buford to go through here.
if Buford beats Sean after the whole soliloquy you gave about Sean in the first round,
Yeah, I can't do it. Sean wins.
darn. Shout out to Buford though. He had quite the run.
Cinderella story. Like the Loyola Chicago. Buford
And
Loyola Chicago.
a very easy run he had, but very memorable.
I don't know. He had to fight Scully.
Yes, but before that he had the captain and an inanimate floating head.
That's fair.
Well, was it inanimate? I think it might have been alive. I'm not sure.
I think it might have been alive. How was it floating if it was inanimate?
And it makes noise. It makes baby noises.
Yeah, maybe you should go check the pound. He might be there.
Buford beat the captain and a floating head before fighting Scully. That's objectively an easy path.
Hey, maybe you should go check the pound. The floating baby head might be there.
I didn't know what else to call it. It was a room owned by the city, owned by babies that I guess had been left on buses.
Owned by the babies?
Owned by the city.
Then you said owned by the city, and then you said owned by the babies.
Well, inmates running the prison type of deal, I guess. I'm not sure.
Just picture these little babies walking.
It's a great episode of Friends. You guys should watch that episode sometime.
I don't have HBO.
It's on. No, I was telling the audience, not you. But
Oh,
also, it's on TV all the time.
yeah, but the odds that I'd find that exact episode.
Fair enough. So, angsty teenness at its height with this matchup. Sean versus Betty. And I'm going to be honest, I did not expect this to be the final two.
We'll talk about that after we have the winner. Can I scream again?
Sure. Ah!
Oh man, what am I gonna do? I honestly don't know what is about to happen.
Flip a coin.
No, I'm not doing that.
Coin a flip?
No.
Oh.
Betty Cooper versus Sean Hunter. Wow. She's come too far to stop here. Betty Cooper wins.
Wow, what an impressive run for her though. Look at the matchup she won. She's the anti-Buford. She had the hardest road to get here.
Hey, and what's that say? She's not even my favorite Riverdale woman.
But she almost didn't make it out of the first round, is what's crazy.
Or the third round.
Had an
Or,
easy second round matchup, but that's the only one that wasn't like agonizing for you.
yes, literally every matchup she had besides Dory was terrible.
I can't believe that's a sentence you just said. Every matchup she had except Dory. Because I put a freaking fish in here.
And somehow the freaking fish won. Somehow a baby had won. Won. What are we talking about here? I mean,
I know. Poor Cookie Monster. I'm not going to say poor Trina. She deserved it. But poor Cookie Monster. Even though I was hoping the baby head would win that matchup.
okay. Now we need your analysis.
I'm surprised this was the final two. I know you like both characters, but for some reason I didn't expect either of them to make it this far.
I want to know them. Who did you expect the final round to be?
I didn't know, but coming into this, I'm like, I did not expect these to be the two heavy hitters of the tournament. Because they both kind of steamrolled.
Well,
Well, no,
Betty
Betty
Cooper
had
did not
close matchup.
steamroll.
Sean steamrolled the men's side.
Betty Cooper did not steamroll.
No, I corrected myself. Sean steamrolled the men's side.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I really didn't have expectations for the men's side. I just wanted it to be bizarre and a
Well,
little
I
bit
mean,
chaotic.
if I look at these 16 names, I don't know how you could look at it and think there was another standout favorite.
I thought Spencer might win.
You literally told me in the Elite Eight that Sean was the only one that you expected to be there.
By that point, because you had already given your giant speech about Sean, but pre-giant speech, I wasn't sure what to think between him and Spencer.
Fair.
And I thought Scully might have a chance because I know you love 9-9. So,
I figured you thought Rosa was going to win the whole thing.
yeah, I thought Rosa was going to win the women's side, and she went out in the third round. So,
yeah, she got Final Four match. That's kind of when it came down to it, Betty faced two strong and formidable opponents for me to argue that she deserved the win here.
three strong and formidable opponents: Amy, Rosa, and Sean.
Oh yeah, I was saying too many is in like TOO, not TWO.
Well, here's the thing. I'm dumb.
Well, we already knew that.
Yes. But I knew whoever won between Sharpay and Miley was useless because I knew that person would lose in the second round.
Yeah.
Steph versus Eve/Eva, unfortunately, I knew was going to be a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that I should have changed it Bailey and Eve, so we would have had Roz versus Eve/Eva, so one of them would have been guaranteed to advance instead of both of them getting killed mercilessly.
That's fair.
Who would you have picked there?
Eve.
Fair enough. But again, we've established Eve and Wally win this race in a swimming challenge or boating challenge.
Yeah.
By electrocuting everyone else in the water.
On the girls' side, there was only really one good first round matchup. A lot of
story.
No. A lot of blowouts. It's just the way it went. And less blowouts on the guys' side, but the quality of play was a lot better on the women's.
Also, shout out to Grandma Betty Jo getting a very unlucky draw in the first round.
Oh, that was terrible for her.
If she would have faced someone else, I think she at least makes the second round, maybe the third.
She could have. She could have. Hey, I also love how we're kind of bringing out our inner breadbasket here.
Yes, I love it. But also, I want to see Grandma Betty Jo and British Grandma. I forget her name.
Oh, I just cast it. Okay, so I just cast behind the curtain my Brent Steele thing. I just casted Phineas and Ferb the other day. It's Grandma Winifred.
Winifred, that's her name.
Yeah.
I remember the gang goes and visits their house, and Candace reads all of the Sherlock Holmes books overnight. Which I'm a slow reader, so that's just insane for me to think about reading that many books in one night. But
No kidding. No kidding.
I do love that episode too, because Dr. Doofenshmirtz's big plan is to attach a rocket to Big Ben and fly it to across the street from his house because his watch is too small. And there's a British human agent working with Perry that's just like, what? That's your whole plan? You could just buy a wall clock.
So with this whole Brent Steele thing I've been working on, there was some cartoons in the cartoon section that I was having trouble finding enough characters for the show
Yeah.
to to, to get 10 people. And so I had to supplement, I had to take substitutions from other shows and put on there. And so there ended up, there's a Phineas and Ferb group in itself, like its own show, which had like Lindana, Candace, Vanessa, Stacy, and
Stacy and her
Isabella.
sister Ginger would kill this race running together, by the way.
Yeah, Isabella was the other one. But then I used a lot of female Phineas and Ferb secondary characters to supplement other people's teams that didn't have enough people. So not Winifred, but Betty Joe is going to be in the Brant Steele. Susie's going to be in the Brant Steele. Charlene Doofenshmirtz is going to be in the Brant Steele. All of the other Fireside Girls are.
And not to turn this into a Phineas and Ferb podcast, which we should totally do sometime,
Yeah.
but I do want to talk about Susie a little bit because she terrorizes Candace, but acts all sweet and innocent to everyone else. But in that haunted house episode, from what I remember, Buford dressed up as Susie because that was scary to him.
Yeah.
And
I
I want to
remember
know the
that.
backstory to that.
That was funny. That was really funny.
I want to know what she did to him. But
If hey, maybe it's one of those things. If you find out, she's gonna do it to you.
she freaking terrorizes Candace, though.
She does all the time.
Oh, this was a fun episode.
So fun, so fun. And congratulations to Betty Cooper, the winner of our second to last draft or our second to last bracket
Yes.
before the
All the bizarre funness that this was.
yes. Next week we'll do the same thing, but for Bruce. The week after that, we'll talk about our new racers.
For sure.
Speaking of, huh?
For sure. Can't wait. A plus.
And speaking of our new racers,
Go.
no,
Oh.
one team of our new racers competed on CBS's Raid the Cage the other night versus Survivor 43's Noel Lambert and Ryan Medrano in a Survivor versus Amazing Race version of the show. You'll have to check that out, Bruce.
Travel safe?
Is there a reason you're ignoring me?
No, I just didn't know what to say.
I said you'll have to check that out, Bruce.
Oh, I nodded. I said,
I did not see that. I'm sorry. Also, this is a podcast, and our audio listeners can't hear your head rattle.
well, yes, but a strong majority of our audience is YouTube. So I feel okay nodding.
Okay,
I
if you
just
say
said
so.
I nodded, then said I did this. So the audio people are imagining me nodding.
Okay.
Imagination.
So, with all of that being said, the world is waiting for you. Good luck.
Safe travels.
No,
Go.
no, you
Oh,
didn't say it right.
let's
The
start over.
world is waiting for you. Good luck.
Travel safe.
Go!
Go.